Right, well, as there seemed to be some appetite for it, I thought I would come and show you the workshop. Camera work will be a little more unsteady as I am on a movable tripod thingy and my hand ain't so steady. So yeah, this is the workshop. So this space behind me here is down the side of our house. We had a sort of covered alleyway. We had the cover up about 18 months ago, and then when we had the house redone we did this bit as well, so it now has walls and doors, which you can't see there, but there's a door to the garden. So over the sort of last year, 18 months, I've been pottering down here doing various bits and bobs. I started off making some dice trays for Dungeons and Dragons. So I found online these shadow boxes. They are just pine boxes and a bit rough and ready, so I ordered a load of these, and for a load of my friends that I was playing D&D with, I turned them into these. So all I really do is I sand them down multiple times, I stain them, and then I sand them some more, and I wax them, and then I buff them out with wire wool. I put a bit of felt on the bottom to stop it from, I don't know, scratching tables, and I've got this sort of coloured fake leather that I put inside them. I've made a few and given them to friends. I'm thinking about seeing whether there's a market for selling them because I have a load of them. So yeah, this is all the sort of random crap that I have. Variety of tools. I've got my sanding bits and bobs here and sort of general tools down there. I also have a pile of wood. Just wood offcuts from various bits that I can use for various things. This is my faithful apron. It is covered in crap. This is Henry. Me and Henry are in a committed relationship and we would ask for privacy at this time. Honestly, I needed a hoover for down here to hoover out some of the dust and the crap that gets generated down here, so I ordered myself a Henry and he's brilliant. A shelf here of all sorts of bits and bobs, wood stains and varnishes, white spirit, paint strippers, that kind of thing. And on this shelf are supplies that I am building up to soon try and make my own dice. Since I started getting into Dungeons and Dragons, the dice goblin in me has arisen with venom. And for ages I've been following Instagrammers and things like that that make their own resin dice, and I thought, well, at the moment, everything on lockdown for a little while, why not give it a go? So I've got most of the supplies have arrived. I've got the silicone to make the moulds, I've got the resin to pour into them, I've got some inks and pigments and things to try different colours, but I'm waiting on a few more things before I can really start, not least of all, my respirator mask, because safety is important when dealing with resin. Yeah. So another thing I'm working on down here is something that I half started nearly 2 years ago, and that's taking apart an old typewriter and stripping the paint down, respraying it and putting it back together. So these are the innards of my lovely typewriter. It is an Olivetti Laterra 22. I've taken off the little nameplates and stuff. I've taken it apart, I've given it a good clean inside. But I did take that out of the outer shell nearly 2 years ago now, so it'll probably stand for another clean soon. If you're ever thinking of cleaning a typewriter and cleaning the keys and things, one thing I have learned from both trial and error and all the research I've done is don't oil them. Don't put oil in the keys, in the little gubbins. That actually makes it worse. It just gets all gummed up and it's not really the right kind of metal to use those oils. You're better off just with using things like little makeup brushes type things and Q-tips, cotton wool tips, and compressed air as well. So I've got a couple of cans of compressed air to blow out all the dust. If you ever get a typewriter secondhand, it is usually pretty gummed up and gunky in there, so you're better off with things like just white spirit or even just warm water, but white spirit is best. Q-tips and things like that just clean out, and some compressed air to blow out the most of the gunk. As I say, don't oil it with something like WD-40. It's not the right kind of oil and the right kind of metal, and everything gets gummed up. Ooh. Oh dear, that screwdriver was keeping a spring in place, wasn't it? Yeah, okay, brilliant. It's alright, I managed to rescue the spring, I managed to fish it out. This is the problem with starting something nearly 2 years ago and leaving it for years, because you don't remember what you're doing. I've got a box of bits here, right, and there are some springs in here, and I don't remember where they go. So when it comes to putting this thing back together, it's going to be fun. So that's the innards of the typewriter. Then we've got the shell. So I've taken it apart and I've started stripping the paint. So this in here is the colour that the paint was. It's like this sea foamy greeny blue, and it's got this weird muddy brown underneath it as well. And this is currently where I'm at with stripping it. So that's where I'm at with currently stripping the paint. It's a sort of chrome and it's muddy and scratched and horrible, but I kind of like it. It's kind of got a little charm to it. This bit, the rear plate with the thing, this bit came up best. It's nice and shiny, but that's going to be a bit that I'm probably going to spray paint. Bit I'm having the most difficulty with, so this is the main shell of the typewriter. I've just got the back soaking in some spirit, so you can see that's the colour that the paint was, and this on the outside is where we're at. The bit I'm having the most difficulty with is this rear portion here, because it is ribbed or ruched or textured or whatever you want to say, so that is proving quite tricky. I had originally intended to spray paint the whole thing, and I was probably going to go for a bright orange just because why not, but I'm kind of loving the dirty chrome underneath it. I'll be going over it with more layers of sandpaper to try and get some more of the kind of the gunk that was underneath the paint up, but we shall see what we can do. But I may just leave it as it is, this, as I say, this kind of slightly scratched, bashed, dirty chrome. But what I will do, if I do that, because of the tricky section on the back, is I will do some accent bits. So this bit, I will probably actually spray paint this black, and the rear, that ruched, ribbed section, again, I'll probably spray paint that black. If I can't get all the paint off it, then as long as I can get enough off of it to make it fairly smooth and uniform, then I'll probably just spray paint that bit black. I'll mask the whole thing off and spray paint it black. Because what I'm also going to probably do is spray paint the inside black, because getting the paint off the outside, nearly smacked myself in the face, getting the paint off the outside is one thing because it's relatively flat surfaces, so I can get my paint scraper on it. The inside with all these curvy corners is going to be nigh on impossible. So what I think I will probably do is mask off all the outside, pop it in a cardboard box and spray paint the inside black, because you will see bits of the inside when you're looking at the typewriter on the outside. You can see bits of it through there. So I think in order to solve that problem, I will spray paint the inside black. Seems like an easier thing to do. So on the inside of the typewriter was this stuff, which is like quite a thick foam, but it's been in there for like something like 20-30 years, and it's pretty grim. When I was putting the paint stripper on and soaking it, it was just coming away all horrible, and you can see if I can show you, and you can see the dirt, the years of dirt and grime that have been embedded in that. So what I'm going to do, I've got some sticky back felt, which is like Blue Peter. I've got some sticky back felt. I'm going to trace the same shapes out. I managed to get these off of the inside without too much ripping, but I can see the basic shapes. Again, these were on the sides, on the inside. They're all gunky. There's enough of a shape left of them that I can trace around them, cut them out with the felt, and stick it back on the inside so it's got a new, fresh bit of padding in there. So yeah, that's kind of the shit that I get up to down here. I am starting to think about, yeah, maybe selling some of these dice trays, and if I can get some good dice going once all the supplies arrive, maybe I'll start selling those as well. Who can say what will happen? There's always a weird thing as well about taking a hobby and something you enjoy doing just for fun and thinking about doing it for public consumption, but kind of in the same way as, you know, talking about books and this whole sort of booktube channel thing. You know, previously in my life it was just something I enjoyed doing. It was, yeah, it was my job as well, but it was also something that I enjoyed doing, reading, talking about books, and then I turned it into something for public consumption. Obviously with anything like this, any kind of woodworking hobbies and stuff, safety is very important. So whenever I'm sawing wood or sanding wood, I've always got my goggles on. I've always got at least just a basic face mask or something around your mouth just to stop you from inhaling loads of sawdust. Times when I've forgotten it, I can definitely feel it in the evening. You know, there have been times, I am only human, where I forget to put a face covering on over my mouth, and yeah, in the evening I'm sort of usually coughing and hacking up some sawdust, which is lovely. There's some stuff that I can do without wearing sort of like the full safety get up, you know, some of it is personal responsibility and personal risk really, isn't it? Yeah, you know, I can carry on with this stuff with no safety gear on if I'm happy to, and sometimes I do because I'm a fool, but yeah, in the name of responsibility and, you know, anyone who's thinking of doing this stuff, safety first. Goggles, gloves, masks are important for this kind of thing. So yeah, I hope that's been even mildly interesting. I can do some more videos like this, some bits and bobs. I've got some other ideas for some stuff, but yeah, this is my workshop where I do some stuff. Right, off to do some more paint stripping. I'll see you later.